What's up, y'all? It's TruthTiger, and I'm here to talk about this dystopian digital ID system that the UK is going to establish for 2029. And for this, if you don't get your digital ID by 2029, they're going to make it so you can't work. You will lose your right to work in the UK unless you have a digital ID. This is so dystopian, so Orwellian, so authoritarian, and the UK has a history of this. They put cameras up everywhere to watch everybody. People have gone to jail for social media posts and for having political opinions which go against the grain. You know, the UK is like this, and with this digital ID system, it's going to make things even worse. This digital ID system is going to be linked to biometrics. I'm not sure what that means specifically, but they will probably link it to your DNA. So for UK people, you will have an ID card that is linked to your DNA, and if you don't have this ID card, you cannot work. And their justification, which is completely ridiculous, completely unfounded, which is a total excuse for their blatant authoritarianism, is illegal immigration. So because we got too much illegal immigrants, everyone has to now get a digital ID because of them. And it's like, hey, there's other ways to combat illegal immigration. As a matter of fact, this digital ID will not combat illegal immigration at all. You know, if you're an illegal immigrant, I mean, over there you're hopping on a boat, over here you're hopping a fence. People who are illegal immigrants are not trying to get a digital ID. They're trying to hop the fence, you know? So zero sense. The justification is insane. It makes no sense. It's not a solution to their so-called problem. They also said identity theft. I've had identity theft happen to me twice. Once was from a data leak, which with this data leak, they would still have access to, you know, if it was a digital ID, they'd have access to my biometrics and my DNA, the hackers would, so they could hack me even more with this digital ID system if I theoretically had it. And, you know, and another time I got hacked, I clicked on malware by accident, mistake on my part, and, you know, they stole my login session token and got into all my accounts and stuff. And again, they got a login session token, which would bypass the digital ID. So this digital ID is complete BS. It's not going to help illegal immigration. It's not going to help identity theft, but it will give the UK government even more control over their population. You know, here in America, if someone goes to jail for a very heinous crime, we will get their fingerprint and get their DNA and be like, all right, you know, if they get out and they screw around again, we'll be able to catch them easier. And essentially, the UK is treating all of its citizens as heinous criminals. So they can catch them easier, you know, probably catch them, you know, if you make a social media with a fake name, they can use the biometrics to catch those people and throw them in jail for social media posts, which they like to do a lot. And, you know, from a spiritual, religious, I believe in Jesus Christ standpoint, this thing is like a precursor to the mark of the beast. I believe that the mark of the beast will be a microchip that gets inserted in people's brains or maybe their hand or something, and that microchip will like affect people's free will and their ability to even have their own free thoughts. And separate video, but this is a precursor to the mark of the beast. And guess what? They will ratchet up the authoritarianism. Now they'll say if you want to go to the store and buy anything, you need your digital ID. It's just this crazy, restrictive society where the government wants to be able to watch every detail, no privacy. The government wants to be able to watch every detail, every little thing you do, every little purchase you make. That is the thing of it, is for government monitoring, government control. And like a side point I want to make is, like, we say all this stuff about free democracy, it's a country by the people. It's not. You have the government up here and us down there. The government are these dominating masters, and we're these slaves who have to do whatever they say, pretty much. And they try to convince us that we're free, but we're really locked in a cage. And with this crap they're doing in the UK, they're trying to make the cage even tighter. even tighter. They're trying to treat everyone like criminals, and it's completely nuts. It's completely ridiculous. It's horrible. It's evil. Their Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, who's pushing this thing through, evil person, not a good person. There's a petition that's been signed by already over 2 million people in the UK. I'm going to link that below. So if you live in the UK, please sign that. Please let your government know that you do not want these digital IDs. And, you know, the time is now to start standing up, fighting back, making our voices heard, saying we don't want this, saying this is not good for our privacy, that we are free citizens, that we deserve privacy. We should not be spied upon by the government. We should not have, the government should not have access to everyone's DNA, which is probably what they're going to have. The government has no right to just take everyone's DNA sample. You know, the government has no right to say that you can't work unless you have this digital ID. It's a total excuse to ramp forward more control and to create this techno dystopia where a camera is watching you around every corner and where you have a microchip in your brain which the government uses to control your thoughts. And I'm not trying to be crazy and like off the rails here. I'm just saying this is what's leading up to it. You know, because now people do the digital IDs. They have everyone's DNA sample. They have more information on people. They know people's genetic code. Now they can control people better, track people better. And then the next step is, we did the digital ID. Now get the chip in your hand. It'll be even better. It won't. It won't. And the thing is, we're living in the end times. We are living in the end of days where the mark of the beast is soon to come. The false prophet is soon to come. The Antichrist is soon to come. And this is just, they're setting the table. They're setting the table right now. They're putting their shoes on, you know, they're putting their clothes on, they're getting dressed, they're getting it set up. You know, they're making the preparations for this mark of the beast and for a full control dystopian, you know, 1984 techno dystopian society that they want to create. And the thing is, this is not just going to be for the UK. They're going to do this in the UK, and they're going to try to roll it out to all the countries in the world. They're going to start there, and soon they're going to try to bring this kind of thing to America, to the United States of America, so that we can have our freedom taken away, and the government can have access to our DNA and our personal information, and so the government can add more bureaucracy and more red tape to block us from getting employment. And that's what they say in the UK. It's only for your job. Pretty soon they'll say, all right, now you can't go to the store and buy anything. No Amazon purchases unless you have this digital ID. So please sign the petition. Let them know that you don't want this. You don't need this. Speak up. Make your voice heard. And all around the world, people need to say no to this stuff. They need to say no to this out-of-control technology, an out-of-control class of elitists who already have so much money and power, but I guess they don't have enough. They need more control for some reason. To say, hey, you guys have enough power, you have enough control, no more digital IDs. We don't need this. Nobody's asking for this. Nobody was like, oh my gosh, there's so much illegal immigration. Some people might be saying that, but not one of those people is going to say, oh, we know we need to solve this. We need to give the government our biometrics. We need to give the government our DNA sample and make everybody get a digital ID. We have to do that. It's the only way to stop it. Said nobody ever. And again, there might be some folks who, you know, are maybe against illegal immigration. I'm sure there's a lot of folks out there, but none of them are calling for a digital ID. None of them are saying, oh man, we need this digital ID. It'll help everything. Said by absolutely nobody whatsoever. So yeah, I'm urging everybody to sign the petition, say no to the digital ID, and to, you know, protect our rights, protect our freedoms, you know, as people all over the world, to protect our rights, protect our freedoms, and, you know, to say no to this creepy mark of the beast digital ID thing that they're trying to do, because pretty soon, like I said before, they're going to slowly but surely get people used to that for 20 years or so. In the next 20 years, they're going to try to bring out a microchip. So, yeah, that's the end of my video here. You know, I just want to speak on this, warn people on this, make my voice heard on this. So yeah, much love. God bless. And I will see you all next time.